so I went into Dune Awakening with some serious doubts, but an open mind. Folks, I had so much fun playing the beta. It actually made me realize it's possible to have a survival game that's a true MMO. I was constantly seeing other players running around. The further I went in, the more I spotted other players in the distance. Not right next to me, but in the distance, there was always some player or sandbike going through the dunes. It really felt like a living, breathing world where you're always interacting with others, and because there are so many people, getting resources like copper, iron, and granite is a race. You have to be quick to grab it before someone else does. Even though stuff respawns pretty quick, I never felt like there was enough for just me. I was always on the hunt for more, and that's actually what I loved about it. The materials felt valuable because everyone else wanted them, not just because the game made them scarce. The survival stuff actually sneaks up on you. At first, it's pretty chill, but the deeper you get into the tutorial, the more intense it becomes. Those plants you get basic water from at the beginning, they become harder to find later on. It teaches you to appreciate every sip and to stock up when you can. And it's just not basic stuff. Finding rare things like generator parts or pieces for your first sandbike means you have to go out and explore, scavenge for old broken vehicles, and even fight bandits. The whole discovery and danger aspect was a very appreciated and wonderful nod in this game. Okay, but you gotta hear me about this cutter. It's a battery-powered tool you can use to get resources, and when you go up to a rock or scrap metal, you can scan it, and a blue line pops up. You have to trace that line with your laser to break the material. It's just so satisfying to do, seriously. But here's where it gets wild. How do you get water when there are no plants around? Blood. Seriously, blood from your enemies is how you stay hydrated. It's kind of messed up, but it's brilliant. It forces you to always go out there fighting bad guys, which I will assume will include other players in PvP areas in the future. You're always carrying blood bags and a blood collector, and you have to go back to your base to process it down into water. You can store a bunch of water in tanks at your base, but you can't just sit in there forever. The game constantly pushes you out into the desert to fight bandits, raiders, or even the Imperium to get more stuff. I've never felt bored or like I was just waiting around in the beta with nothing to do. The combat was pretty standard for an online game, nothing super fancy, but it felt good. You know how in Dune, people have those shields that deflect fast-moving stuff from around them like bullets or guns? Well, in this game, if someone has a shield, you can't just shoot them. You have to use a melee weapon and slowly push it through their shield. It forces you into close quarters combat, which I think is a really cool nod to the Dune universe, and I think makes melee fighters a very viable thing in PvP or PvE situations. The base building is also a big deal. You don't just instantly build everything. There's a huge tech tree where you have to spend points you earn by playing, which unlocks new building parts and other stuff. And finding new materials means you can build even better gear and weapons. It's a bit of a clunky to place things at first, but once you build a couple of bases, you get the hang of it. You also need to power your base with generators and all of that. So overall, I feel Dune Awakening feels like a game for people who want a survival MMO that doesn't make survival so hard it's annoying, but gives you that awesome MMO experience. You fight NPCs, find gear, and really dive into the Doom world while having to survive in it at the same time. I'm very excited to see what kind of other things in it, but this is my first impressions of Dune from their beta, and I can't wait to dive into the full game when it comes out. Thank you very much for watching the State of Survival podcast. I have been Dumpgra. Ta-ta for now.